The Women's Empowerment Club is an initiative of the United States government here in Ho Chi Minh City. Professional Vietnamese women aged 25 to 40 to learn more about themselves, to develop more skills, collaborate with each other and to help the community.
First of all, I feel very grateful and honored to be here. That's what I feel so far because I get to meet a lot of incredible women. Also, to hear their inspiring stories to make me feel empowered and inspired from their work.
The girls surprised me a lot because, the clubs in my imaginations were between the amateurs. But the WEC, we have experts.
We run a few workshops, but a lot of activities. So the women are getting to meet each other, and by late in the first day, we introduce the community groups that we'll partner with. The women will have approximately 2 months to go out and do a project in the community with that community partner. Then they prepare a presentation, which they will deliver on the last half day.
We do the project with Vina Capital Foundation. It's like a new experience to me because I had a chance to see disadvantaged family, and that opened my heart.
It's amazing. It blows my mind. So I really enjoy it, and I feel so lucky to be a part of the events.
So this project gave me an opportunity to really do something, put me into action that I can contribute my little tiny part in an effort to protect the environment. So yeah.
That's the most exciting part of all for us, to see the women come back together and talk about their successes and how they've grown through this process, be able to do something that's meaningful, that impacts the wider community.
For me, the women empowerment is really a great chance for the young professional women. Together, we may come up with something, really powerful and make an impact to the society.
In a very short time, I have to say that I learned a lot.
For sure, I hope that it's not one-off events for everyone because, that is something that we're really passionate about, having this chance to be a part of this community. And only here that I see that I have a group of people that I feel belong to, and I feel so lucky. So yeah, I'm really grateful.
Now, if you think of 101 mid-career professional Vietnamese women putting their talents together, you're going to come up with some great outcomes.
I believe that you made the right investment in your professional development, and I hope that you have learned real-life skills which will serve you well in your future endeavors. Thank you for your participation.
Good evening, everyone. Hi. It's exhilarating to see not only ladies but also gentlemen here, because that's a good sign of the development of the women's empowerment, isn't it? Oh, one more thing. May I introduce Ms. Dao Mai, a representative of Cran's team from the U.S. Consulate General, Ho Chi Minh City. Thank you for being here today. All right, now on behalf of the Women's Empowerment Club, allow me to welcome everyone to today's information session, the kickoff event of Batch 9. Thank you. All right, we are gathering here, well, not so much because we're celebrating the Mid-Autumn Festival with each other, I assume, but we're right here, right now, because we sure believe in women's empowerment, and we are acting on it together, right? With that spirit, in the next 1 hour and a half, we're going to go through important information about how women can become more empowered and empowering, and how the ladies here can become members of WEC. The information session will start off with a brief introduction of the WEC program and the training program. And also, we'll come to the panel discussion. This is when we're going to listen to panelists who are former trainer, mentor, community partner, project lead, and alumna. And we're going to listen to their insights into WEC's values, its impacts on the members, and also its contributions to society. And then we'll round off with a Q&A section with a focus on how to successfully become a member of WEC. That's crucial. Now, for those of you who can't make it here today, don't worry. You can watch the live stream on WEC's fan page, and we encourage that you leave your questions in the comment section, so we can pick some questions right there to answer right here. And please notice the time. The panel discussion will be starting at around 7, and the Q&A 7:45. Thank you. Now, before we get down to business, we would like to send our heartfelt thank you to our generous sponsors. Okay, now first of all, Hello World Saigon, thank you very much for the professional-looking venue. For your information, Hello World Saigon provides well-equipped multi-purpose spaces, including offices, hotel rooms, and on-site F&B is open 24/7 with security and parking services and strictly follows COVID-19 regulated guidelines. This is the place for its members to reach out, network, exchange ideas, and say hello to a world of global possibilities. And at Hello World Saigon, you can work, live, learn, and play. So don't hesitate to explore Hello World Saigon by visiting the website or the fan page. One more thing, Flowey. Thank you for the gorgeous flowers that you've brought here today. Flowey specializes in simple but elegant seasonal flower boxes and bouquets. The flowers are already arranged in a bouquet, so you simply put it in a vase. It's really convenient and time-saving. So for more information, please visit flowey.vn or the fan page. There's one more, Rise Content and Media. Thank you for the technical support. It means a lot to us. Rise Content and Media Company has highly skilled filmmakers, media professionals, and artists. And it helps brands to build their communities online and develop their own content platform. Rise has been credited on regional networks such as Channel News Asia, Discovery Networks Asia, National Geographic, and Travel and Living. All right, without further ado, for the brief introduction of the program, WEC program, let's welcome our speakers. Now, firstly, to me, the project lead of batches 7 and 8, and then Holly, the project lead of batches 9 and 10, and last but not least, the professional trainer of batch 9, Ms. Han Nguyen. Now, to me, over to you.
Hello everyone, thank you for being such a lovely crowd. I think all of us haven't had our dinner yet, have we? Oh, you have? Very well prepared. But I'm not hungry because I absorb in your energy. And through masses, I can still feel your smiles because of your sparkling eyes. Thank you very much for that. My name is To Me, like to you and to me, and in short, it's me. It means American. Even though I'm 100% Vietnamese and never been to America before. Well, it's my honor to be here today to introduce you to WEC. What is WEC? What's Women Empowerment Club? So, in short, it's an initiative designed and funded by the US government public diplomatic grants. And it started in 2017. And it has been 150 mid-career professional Vietnamese has graduated from the program. One thing that we're very proud of is that this program is the only one in the whole world of the extensive network of the US government diplomacy. There's only one of us in Ho Chi Minh City that have this club. We're very proud of that. And since the inception, We've been through eight batches, and by batch we've been cohort, like each group of members. And well, you can see here batch 1 is missing, but we can have batch 2, 3, 4, 5, all very shiny. And for batch 1 to 6, turn back. And we have project lead for each duration of batches. And we have in this house, or this room today, 3 generations, all of the generation of project lead from the start to now. The first one, our founding mother, Felicity. Thank you for being here. Felicity is the representative from RMIT Vietnam, which has started this project. And she's been our lead trainer and program management, program lead, and now she serves as the program advisor. And in the last batch of the grant where Felicity lead, I was a member. I'm the member of batch 6. Yeah, you can see me there, the most beautiful one, if you can spot anyone. And yeah, right that time, we need another one to step up, to apply for another round of grant, to continue with another batches. And I am empowered from the club and from everyone and Felicity to step up and be the project lead for the batch 7 and 8. And now we have another project lead for batch 9 and 10, which you're attending today. And she's yet another amazing alumni from WEC as well. So we are homegrown talent within the group. And it's amazing that you step up, and we're very happy, and we wish you a very successful journey with WEC batch 9 and 10. Thank you. Over to you with passing the baton.
Hello everyone. So this is a really amazing introduction to me. So now I will try to get the ball rolling, and thanks Felicity to me and everyone to believe in me and the team. Actually, I'm not here alone, and everything we have been here today is work of a team. So, following the successful Women's Empowerment Club project held at American Center from November 2017 to January 2020, we, as a WEC alumni committee, along with some friends who in love with WEC and soon become WEC member, hereby using different talents coming from different industry and expertise to deliver an inclusive, evolved, and sustainable WEC program for batch 9 and 10. So, the goals of the updated WEC program running from September 2020 to June 2021 are to develop professional skills, enhance networks, and empower 40 to 50 selected mid-career Vietnamese professionals to deliver their all women's empowerment activities to benefit other Vietnamese women and in Ho Chi Minh City and environs by working along with nominated community partners, NPOs, NGOs, and social enterprises. So, also, in the endeavor to bring about sustainable development, the program calls for more engagement of male counterparts and the public via different channels such as panel talks and WEC Facebook fan page, and of alumni in the roles of forthcoming trainers, mentors, speakers, and community partners. So, what you can expect? There will be a series of trainings, networking, sharing, self-discovery, love, and eye-opening moments well designed by educators and compact within the next 2 months. Going into details, on day 1, the first day of intensive workshop, we'll focus on self-exploration and develop self-esteem. Moving to day 2. Here, you can see, this is day 1. Moving to day 2, you will start to look at teamwork with fresh view. When receive toolkits for teamwork, which benefit not only your work environment, but also your family air. Day 2 will prepare you for upcoming 2 months of community projects with your chosen community partners, along with one mentor who is WEC alumni. So, this is some community partners that have been working with us in previous batches. Their focus lay across sectors: education, single moms, healthcare, etc. In 2 months community outreach, evenings used for online meetings after full-time job, weekends used for project planning at coffee shop, and days are using of various expertise to transform creative ideas into practical impacts for our community. After all the hard work, we will meet again at final presentation and graduation ceremony day, where every team members have opportunity to stand up and tell us what you have learned and what you have made. Representatives from the U.S. Consulate, Ho Chi Minh City, will deliver a warm wrap-up speech and hand out to each of you certificate. Mark a great milestone for all you have gained and what you have gave back to the society. So now we will take a quick look on some project examples what our alumni have done in their 2 months. Dancing for She Will Be Strong, supporting single moms. Strong Heart, Happy Life, Bright Future, supporting Vina Capital Foundations. Our Hearts Are in Pink, supporting Breast Cancer Network Vietnam. Drop for the Hurt, supporting Vina Capital Foundation, raising awareness for Vina Capital Foundation in supporting children with congenital heart defects. And the results are really amazing. So please enjoy our clips. So that's just one example of a lot of amazing projects that our alumni have done. So because we got shortage of at time now. So please visit our Facebook and we will upload more on that. So now, passing the mic to our trainers, she will briefly going through the training agenda to you all.
Hi everyone. In fact, Harley already introduced a lot of information about the program and agenda you already saw from the slide. So I think that I just take this time to share with you my story briefly. I graduated in 1992 from the University of Economics in Ho Chi Minh City in foreign trade. And after 2 years, I became the manager of a business department of one of the top local import and export company. And I make a lot of money at that time, supported by more than my classmates at that time. And I was supported by the GM of the company and have a great team that work under me, but I was not happy. So in 1999, I decided to take 1-year program in public policy from the Fulbright Economic Teaching Program. And at the same time, I co-founded one company, both trading and manufacturing. And then I joined one of the top local banks at that time as an R&D manager. With my dedication work for the Young Business People Association of Ho Chi Minh City, and my passion at that time to develop the private sector in Vietnam. So I was granted Fulbright scholarship for 2 years, MBA degree. And in 2005, I came back as a Deputy General Director of that local bank. People consider me as a very successful businesswoman at that time. But I feel my life full of stress, anxiety, my health was not good. And at the age of 39, I asked myself, what you want to do with still to do the same thing or do differently for the next 40 or 50 years of my life. So that I decided to leave the bank. And since then, I still involved in business, but I spend most of the time to empower myself, to build up my inner strength, to empower other women. That's the reason why I co-founded the Women Association, the Ho Chi Minh City Association for Women Executive and Entrepreneur Hawi. And I am the Vice President and Secretary General of that association at the moment so far. And I also work in the empowerment of the community through engaging with a lot of my time for the Living Value Education program in Vietnam in the recent years. And in fact, with the COVID-19, it gave me even more impulse, stronger impulse to give and to serve the community, and especially for young women, as all of you here, so that you can, and some men maybe, who knows, to break your inner glass ceiling and also to build up your inner power and to step in to change, to be the change maker and to participate and to shape the world together. So I still in the journey a bit and very excited to share with you my knowledge, my experience, my learning during the next training. And I hope to see all of you there. And with the conclusion, I would like to thank for the very special team of organizers and also for the previous Felicity and previous trainer who set the foundation for this program. And with this, I just like to pass this to Harley again.
So how many of you have been inspired by our trainers, our lead trainers of batch 9 presentation? Please raise your hand. So I would expect the similar numbers of application tonight, right? Okay, so now going into more details of how you can apply it and how you can be successfully become our members. So here we will have a registration form and QR code, and we will have our organizers going along after this section with the QR code to have you to take a look through the forms and then try it out. And maybe you have to spend about several days to think, sink deep into yourself and write an essay. But we preferred you translate that into a video clip. So what will you gain? You will increase your self-awareness after WEC, enhance your professional skills, deepen your networks, and empower other women in the community. So what is our expectation? We recruiting mid-career professional Vietnamese women aged from 25 to 40s. Maybe you are in leadership roles or manager role now. We prefer to recruit people have advanced English level because before we have trainers as Australians, and this program is hosted and granted and funded by U.S. Consulate General. Yes. Small change in batch 9 and 10 is we will have bilingual training section, which means we'll use Vietnamese and English at the same time in our training time. And we will need you to commit 3 full days in intensive workshop and the presentation date that you have to present yourself in American Centered. Furthermore, it's 2 months of community projects that you have to be available online to your teams, online to your community, and online by heart for the projects. Okay, so the recruiting timeline is we will open the registration link tonight, here. We will end the registration process at 24th of October. We will try to scan through like hundreds of applications and try to send emails to the upcoming members at the end of October. And yes, as I mentioned before, day 1 and day 2 of intensive workshop is November 12th and 13th. You will do projects for 2 months, and our graduation day is January 15th. So that's a summary. So where to find us? Please take a look at our Facebook, Women's Empowerment Club, or you can find us on page of U.S. Consulate General, Ho Chi Minh City. Later, we will broadcast the live stream on U.S. Consulate page, or you can take a look at 8 batches photos in Flick of American Centers. All photos are there if you want to take a look how we have done before. So here, this is the contact. You can take photo of this one or find us online. And yes, join us, empower yourself, and empower others.
Wow, that was really useful, informative. Thank you, speakers. Now, trust me, everyone, there have been and will be many more worthwhile moments to share. But for now, for more stories to be reviewed, why don't we listen directly from the involved parties? So I'm going to invite to the stage our dear panelists. But for you to know, this time, in order to bring a breath of fresh air to the panel discussion, and more importantly, to engage men in women's empowerment, we've invited a male speaker from one of our dedicated community partners. So let's welcome to the stage Minh Ho, Director at Survival Skills Vietnam, and Felicity Brown, former project lead, former trainer and facilitator, and Dan Ha, former mentor and alumna, and once again to me, project lead of Batch 7 and Batch 8. shall we start with a question for one of our alumni? Okay, now, Đăng Hà. All right, so you were a member of Batch 7, and you were a mentor at Batch 8, right? And then now you come back as an alumni for Batch 9. So firstly, thank you for your enthusiasm and dedication. All right, so because you've been really attached to WEC, I believe that the club must mean something to you, right? So my question is, how has the experience of joining WEC may, transformed you or influenced you one way or another?
Wow, big question, right? Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. So amazing to see all of you here. So I'm speaking from alumni perspective, meaning that somebody already been through the journey, right? And then to Phi mentioned, it doesn't mean that I'm so free. That's why WEC the only way to spend time. Actually, I quite enjoy being a member of WEC. So actually, it's really meaningful in 3 ways. First of all, I think I'm quite independent. I consider myself quite independent. And I always love to do things on my own way. But since I'm working with all the amazing girls here, and then most of them younger than me, maybe 10, 12 years younger than me. And it's really an eye-opening and mind-opening experience. You know what? Because they come with a different perspective, they come with different skill sets, and they also come with different worldviews, different generation as well, right? So I remember that when we work as a team, every day I got some new idea to come. And then sometimes it's not really down to earth, right? But those ladies who really got like fantastic execution skill, who will be able to translate those ideas into action, and also at the end of the day, we were able to make things happen. We have the single mom, and we also raise funds for She Will Be Strong. So that's the first dimension, that how I can see things differently and how I can start appreciate the differences. The second thing will be from the community perspective. Well, actually, by participating in WEC, we will have the opportunities to give back to the community. So when I work with She Will Be Strong, actually, we speak to different vulnerable people, like single mom, and we see that the future for them really uncertain, right? They don't see things in years. They just see things in days or weeks, right? And then whatever we are doing is just like a drop in the ocean. But it made me feel that, well, actually, if we continue to give that kind of drop, right, we may have already saved somebody's life or future. So that gives you the sense of community, that gives you the sense of fulfillment to a certain extent. Last but not least, from the personal development, actually, I think that it helped me to see how or what I can do every day to be a better version, an authentic but better version, right? So I started having like different habits, the healthy one, okay? And also have a different lifestyle, because that's the way I can tell myself and my younger daughter and every woman around me that, yeah, we actually have the power to do things differently, and we have the power to be change maker if we want to. So that's my sharing from the alumni.
Thank you. That's really inspirational. Okay, now over to me. So before you became the project lead of batches 7 and 8, you were a member of cohort 6, right? Okay, so the same question for you. How has the journey with WEC changed you or influenced you?
Okay. What's the purpose of that question? I guess it's for you to reflect on, to see if you want to apply to this club, right? So it's made me think of the time when I decided whether I should apply to this great program, because at that moment I was under a lot of self-doubt. Oh, it's organized by the US consulate. Oh, it's for mid-career women. I'm not that fancy. Maybe I'm not very qualified. But something inside me is an urge, a need to join something. So I joined, and I still remember that night of deadline. I still rocking my baby to sleep and taking the camera, talking to the camera, and it's like, she's very heavy, and then, I think I got sidetracked from the question, right? But it's just to say that I'm very determined to get into the club, to get trained, to get connected, to do networking thing. But once I was in the club, the benefit that I got is out of my mind. It's like mind-blowing. I couldn't imagine I could receive that much. First of all, it was a safe environment where I can speak up my mind. I can talk about everything, from the positive to the negative. I don't need to be politically correct. Yeah, and it's like it's very liberating for me. So the whole concept of WEC is the first 2 days of the workshop is focused on inner strength. So we have the time to look deep into ourselves and to resolve any kind of burden inside ourselves. And then the second part, where we do group project with community partners to help solve the problem for the community. That's when we get what we have inside us to connect with other women and to serve a purpose, a goal that is higher than any of us. And that gave me a sense of power, because it helped me to realize that my talent, my expertise that I use in work, actually it can applied in community as well. So I was in education. I designed curriculum. And my team, we have the project to... Am I short for time? We have a project to raise funds for a group of underprivileged children. So the purpose is to raise money, which is not my strength. But then my team said that, wow, it's kind of short-sighted. We do that. It's like one-off event, and it doesn't help the organization that much. So we changed into the concept of building a emotional bridge between the corporation with the organization, and we built the kind of the one-on-one mentoring program for the underprivileged adolescent. And then in that program, I can design the program, the content and everything. Then I feel I am useful. And then one of the things that I couldn't have had beside the group is that inside that group, I have other people with other expertise that can complement me. So we have people who are very good at networking with the corporate, who are very good at video making, and together we can do something that I alone cannot do ever. And that is like very eye-opening to me. That's the first chapter of my life with WEC.
I think it's true. You just set a classic example of the saying, behind a successful person, there's always a big story. So yeah, I think so. That was quite big and quite long. Okay, but thank you for your sincere sharing with us. All right, I want to go back to Dang Ha a little bit, but this time as a mentor. So as you know, she was a mentor at batch 8. So my question is, what was your favorite and least favorite part as a mentor?
Well, actually, before answering your question, I think I got the KPI for today. We didn't have more mentor to come back. because I need to do the sales skills now. Okay. Basically, to be honest, it's really rewarding and awesome to be a mentor. Why I'm saying so? Because being a mentor, you are not doing the work. Okay, you are seeing somebody doing the work. Okay, so what will be the most favorite part of being a mentor? First, you can see you got 5 different girls from different background, different industry, with different skill sets, right? Different life aspiration, different way to articulate themselves, right? You see them coming together and do something. Not easy, to be honest, because sometimes they got problems to solve, sometimes they got conflicts to handle. So being a mentor, you are there for them. You help them by actually just listening, right? You can offer solutions. Sometimes they can't find a solution, but they need somebody there just to know that, yeah, they can get the support whenever they want. They can have somebody to listen to their troubles, or that also help us to like practice our communication effectively. So that would be my most enjoyable part. The least part, I try to be honest as much as possible, but at the end of the day, I also would encourage, particularly the alumni, right, to come back as a mentor, because, like I said, it's really amazing to be a mentor. The least favorite part would be time dedication. By saying time dedication, meaning that because you are things to do on day-to-day basis, but at the same time, you also need to have dedication from time perspective, right? Then how you making sure that you got the time management strategy, how you can allocate your time, how you can be there for your team, how you can support the team. So that from my personal reflection, that, well, actually when it will come back as a mentor, making sure that we got time for everyone in the team. I hope that answers your question, and I hope more to come.
Yeah, okay, you achieved your KPI today. Thank you for that, because we are encouraging alumni to come back and contribute in different roles. Maybe MC, maybe mentor, maybe project lead. Why not? All right, now let's hear from our community partners. Okay, Survival Skills Vietnam. Why has Survival Skills Vietnam decided to cooperate with WEC as a community partner? I mean, what do you see in the Women's Empowerment Club, and what do you see in our cooperation?
Thank you. Firstly, I want to thank you to let me in the rank of women. Actually, like joining WEC is kind of very straightforward and very convenient option for me in my business perspective. What Survival Skill Vietnam do is like, you know, every day there are lots of people die in Vietnam. Not because of the accident itself, but because when they have an accident, the bystander, they don't know what to do with the victims. So lots of people dying, like from traffic accident, from, you know, drowning, or, you know, accident of your family member, and you don't know what to do. And we are trying to fix this by you know, first aid training. And one thing I observed from my business observation was that like majority of our learners are female, and even the male learners were influenced by women to join the class. So I see the importance of women in saving life of everyone else. So, and also in my company, 100% of our staff are female. I don't know how and I don't know why. We're trying to looking for men, but we can't. So you know that and through the course of our business, we realized that women have very big motivation to join, because women are the main caretakers in our cultures. And you know, lots of women join our class because they have traumatic experience in their family. For example, they are lady, they got her babies get burned, and at that time she didn't know what to do, and she did it incorrectly, and the injury get worse, and it become even more traumatic experience to her. And that's the motivation for her to join our class and encourage her family to join us as well. So I see the influence of women in driving this movement, and I believe that empowering women and involving women in our cause will save more life. That's on you know, that's on my my business perspective, and also I also send my staff to WEC as well to apply for WEC as well, because when my staff get empowered, because lots of our staff are really young, and when we get empowered, I get empowered too. And you know, because our majority of our learners and our supporters are female, and I'm a male leader, so I'm not sure if my decision would be in the best interest of women. So by letting my staff get empowered and to make decisions, I believe that our decision will be more relevant and more helpful to women. And on my personal level, actually, I know the organizer of WEC long before I joined WEC, like Felicity, I think like 6 or 7 years ago, and Solin and Kelly, and you know, I see WEC from the Facebook, and my impression was based on them. Actually, when I look at Felicity and Kelly and Solin, I see the power, the quality, the commitment to quality, the leadership. So I expect the same thing for our participants, because you have very strict selection process, I guess. And also we don't recruit any kind of any volunteers. We need very professional volunteerism, because we are trying to solve something that many organizations fail years ago. So we need volunteers with with creativity to think out the box. We need volunteers that have leadership to make sure it gets done. So and we are the same team. We make a good team, right? And we did a lot of great things together. And I hope those people let me in the next batch.
All right, so as far as I know, this is not the first time that Survival Skills Vietnam joins WEC as a community partner. So you must have some experience working with WEC teams. And in your experience, what are some common obstacles or common problems that WEC teams and the community partners usually encounter during the course of their community projects? That's the first question. And the second question is, no, actually, that's the second and the third. Yes, that's the second and the third. Do you have any suggestions for WEC teams to prevent or to overcome the common problems during their community projects?
I think like WEC experience is really rewarding, not only for the participant, but for us as a community partner as well. And among everything, I think time is the biggest enemy of your team, because 2 months is really short, and you have to expect that, like beside your project, you have your professional career as well. So you are not always unemployed like her when she joined the project. Right? So you have your job, and maybe you have your babies like to me as well. So and there are lots of things can happen in between. So you have to be very wise and very critical with your time. I think there's some takeaway from my last project. I think firstly, you need to be very honest to yourself about how much time you can commit to your project, and you have to let your member know how much time you can spend and your schedule of availabilities, so you can work well together. Make no assumption, because if everyone had wrong assumption about your contribution, then it will waste a lot of your time and your team as well. Secondly, I think you need to be realistic about your project as well. 2 months is really short, and you're trying to solve something that an organization spent years to solve, and maybe they fail to solve it. So let's be really critical, and you have to be really clear about the expectation of your partners, because if they expect some results, if you spend too much on planning, you give them a very beautiful plan and very beautiful idea without execution, I don't think it's good for them. So I think you should include, take into account everything from beginning to the end. And I think the results is the most important. Don't be too ambitious. And also, you need to talk to your community partner as well about their expectation and how much time they can spend with you. And sometimes they can give you their resources, but you have to be really clear about what you're looking from them, and also give them an expectation, like how much time they need from you. and also the result of project, and work really closely with your partner, because like sometimes they tell you one thing but they actually need the other things because they don't actually know the solution. So just time, be careful with your time, and I think you will be successful.
Okay, great advice. All right, so we've heard from former project leads and then from former mentor and alumni and community partners. So I guess now we're all very curious about what's waiting for us in the training program. So over to you, Felicity. Okay, so we all know that the workshops are a feature of the WEC program, and actually they set the scene for the whole program. So can you tell us more about the aims of the training session, and on what grounds have you chosen some skills or some areas of knowledge for the training session?
It's really great to be here. You can see, and I guess you can all feel about the WEC family, right? Do you feel like how everybody loves each other and how we're all here to come together and make a difference for our community? So it's been really my privilege to be part of this project and to continue to be so. You know, I've been part of this project right from the beginning. It's clocking over 3 years now, and it's changed a bit in that time, and every time I think it just gets better and better. Most recently, you can see what we're doing for the next club, and I'm very happy that we have Ha as our new facilitator. But really where the design came from most recently was because in my other life, I'm a career coach. I help mid-career professional women with their careers, changing careers, starting careers, moving countries, if they lose their job, all those types of things. You know, basically women in career transition. And I see that many of us do not really understand well what our skills are and what our strengths are, what our values are, what's important to us. And I saw that that's something that's really important, especially now. You know, we have COVID. We have a great opportunity right now to take stock, to really think about ourselves, think about our futures, think about our place in our futures and our place in the world. And we also look at things like your superpower, like what are the things that you're really amazing at? So part of it was that, like you said, the inner strength, understanding yourself, and that's really something that you can focus on so that you know what you can contribute to the community projects. You know where your strengths lie, and it will help you in your careers as well. So that was one of the things that I chose for that.
Thank you. Well, as you have heard from Felicity and also from Holly at the beginning of the program, there will be some changes in the training program for batch 9. And speaking of changes, I would like to ask to me, the project lead of batches 7 and 8, actually she herself brought some changes to the 2 batches that she was in charge of. So firstly, can you go over some key differences, and then can you tell us about the highlights of batch 7 and batch 8 that you noticed? Okay, so key changes and highlights.
Okay. Right. Well, before me, from batch 1 to 6, WEC already underwent a major change, and maybe Felicity, you can share a bit about that, then I can follow up.
So the first 3 clubs were essentially a series of workshops that happened twice a week in lunch times, focusing on different skills and knowledge areas. And I went and did some interviews, some in-depth interviews with the graduates from the first 3 clubs, because I wanted to see, does this program really have an impact? And I was worried that it didn't. But when I spoke to those women from the first 3 clubs,
I found out it had more impact than I thought. But more importantly, they all had some great ideas about how they wanted to take it forward. And using those ideas, I redesigned the program so that it included that community aspect, and it was more self-exploratory, more about self-awareness, more about collaboration, coming together, knowing what your skills are, and going and using them. Not just coming for workshops, but actually putting those to good use for our community. And for me, you know, you keep hearing about the 2 months, but that's really just the beginning as I saw it. And you can see today how far we've come. So that was up to Club 6. And then, yes, I was dropping major hints for many clubs that I would love a Vietnamese woman to take over the project lead role. And fortunately, to me, heard it, and she was empowered, she stepped up. So let's hear about how you made the changes in 7 and 8.
Thank you. I'll be short, very short. Okay, so, well, when I sit in front of the plan to write, I think, or I reflect back on my journey with my WEC batch 6, and I realized that, well, great as it was, I still have something that I wish that I could have back then, which one of the things is that other batches. So to me, other batches members like uncharted territory. I don't know much about them. So I plan to have all the alumni to come back to contribute as a mentor for the community project, and it serves as the a point to for sustainability of the club. So now with the new project lead, we have a lot of support from the whole alumni. Yeah, very short. So mentors. And the good thing is batch 9 yet they introduce more new changes, all very exciting. Yeah. So the creativity and innovation keep coming.
That's good news, right? As we're talking about innovation and evolution, I think we should also listen from an alumna. Okay, the viewpoint of an alumna, because we just listened to former project leads and former trainer. Okay, over to you, Hat. Okay, can you tell us about some positive changes, or actually any changes in any aspects of WEC that you have noticed over the time you have been here with us?
I've been here for a year. Anyway, to answer your question, I got a question for you guys. How many of you here are WEC alumni? Can you just raise your hand? I believe more hands than that. Okay, can I see the hands of the guys? How many of you are guys? Can you raise your hands?
Alumni or what?
No need to be alumni. I don't want to be gender biased, but okay. You can do it later. No pressure now. Okay. So what changes I have seen so far? First of all, I see the comeback from alumni, right? Like myself, I've been project member, and then come back as a mentor, and now I come back as a vendor list, and I don't know what else I can do, but that's the first thing. We see the collaboration, we see the comeback, we see the, the hand holding. So that's the first good things. The second thing for this batch, I see the inclusion, right? Because we got guys here, we got gentlemen here, because we want to generate balanced views, want to generate diverse views, perspective, right? It's not women talking to women, I want to empower you. But how guys think about women empowerment, how you have a different view about our women, how you can see the positive that we can contribute, right? So that's the second thing. Last but not least, I see the real impact that we have already created for the community. I don't want to repeat myself because Harley already showcased the project that we have been through, the funds that we have raised, the awareness that we have already generated. So that the 3 things that I have seen so far.
All right, so okay, some of our panelists have mentioned sustainability, and I myself have mentioned alumni coming back and contributing in different roles. So to some extent, that proves the sustainability, the success of WEC. For this aspect, Felicity, I want to ask you about the contributing factors and the success and the sustainability of WEC in your opinion.
Yeah, sustainability was something I really wanted to build into it when I changed from the Club 3 to Club 4. I can see really this whole success of the program is because it is by and for Vietnamese women. And that was really important to me. I mean, I was so fortunate to be given this project. And when I had those in-depth interviews after Club 3, I really saw the potential to take this further, but I also knew that this was not really my role. So it's all about the members, it's all about the club members, and you can see and hear the passion. I mean, we could talk all day, which we don't have the time, but there's so much passion there, and people want to make a difference and to lift up other women, to help others who maybe don't get a chance to do this club, maybe those who are in their caring duties at home or living in the provinces, maybe with disabilities. So really we are a privileged few to be part of the club, and so having the community projects meant that we could widen the impact. So I think it's all about impact, and it's all due to the success, the passion of the members, and I am so proud of how you've all taken it so far, and I guess you must be too at the US Consulate General. I mean, like it was said before, this is the only club like this in the world. I asked, there must be like other alumni of this sort of program around the world, and they're like, what are you asking? I said, we can't be the only one. Yeah, we are? Really? Wow. So how exciting for Vietnam. And how exciting for me. But at that, I'm also, was really proud to hand over. But I'm also really excited that you welcome me back and that I'm still part of the role in an advisory position. But it is all about the members.
Thank you. So as you can see, WEC has tried its best, and actually we as members have exerted ourselves to keep the club sustainable, to spread the spirit of women's empowerment. But I'm sure that you would agree with me when I say that women's empowerment shouldn't be the responsibility of just one gender. If we want to bring about changes, we have to join hands to do that. So for that reason, it's really important to know what men think about, women's empowerment and gender equality. Okay, so over to you, Ben. What do you think about the role of man in this regard?
Firstly, I would thank the organizer for letting me as a minority to talk about my opinion. Actually, I spent half of my career in a male-dominant environment, and I spent another half in a female-dominant environment. And this is what I see. I see like we are an ecosystem. Man and female is an ecosystem. You cannot talk about equality like do something about woman equality in vacuum. Like if you empower like 50% of the population and you don't do anything with the rest of the population, there will still be a resistance. And actually, what I see is that like men do have stereotype as well. We are still trapped with stereotype about men, and this is very those stereotype is very toxic and destructive, not only for women but also for men as well. And what I see the difference is that like in the last decade, women have improving self-awareness and awareness about gender equality, but nobody doing anything with men. And I find that I spend years to have the same level of self-awareness with an average woman. I did my best, and I don't think I get there yet. But like nobody doing anything about men, and men are still trapped in the stereotypes. And I can just name a few. I'm not an expert in this field, but for example, there's a lot of wrong expectation about men. For example, men are expected to drink a lot. Do you agree, right? And women don't have this problem. And when if like someone invite a guy to drink, and if that man reject the invitation, then it's a very insulting and it's very disrespectful. Actually, I fight for gender equality for men for 7 years by quitting drinking, and actually I insult a lot of people, including women. And also, men are expected not to show vulnerabilities. Men cannot express the emotion. We are not expected to express the emotion, and actually there are a lot of research around the world confirming that if men expect their weakness or vulnerability, they are perceived weak, incompetent, and also they pay less as well. And there are lots of things happening around those stereotypes. And men are expected to be rich as well. And if a man cannot be rich, they usually were looked down by the society, including their family, their wife, their partners. Those kind of things actually make men suffering as well, and this build up a lot of pressure on men. This is what I perceive, and those pressure, if it's vented on their family, it becomes domestic violence. If it's vented on themselves, it becomes depression, suicide, alcoholism, traffic accident, and this is what I think. I think that like gender equality is not like women fighting against men, but we as a whole fighting against gender stereotype of all kinds, men, women, LGBTs. I think that is the true gender equality. And also there is, actually this is not the first seminar I join. I usually join as a listener. This is my first time join as a talker. And this is what I see. Women expect a lot from men, but usually women don't talk what they really want, and men get sing, and sometimes they do the wrong things. I think women should be open in that, and men also should express themselves more, because like they are too restrained on expressing themselves. Men should talk about their vulnerability as well. I think that we'll have each other to fix those kind of things. And as a man who are trying to fight for gender equality for men, and I find it's actually was really hard and painful in the last 7 years. I'm not sure if it's good to talk about it here, but my workplace is a very conservative place, male dominant, and people drink a lot, and I piss off a lot of people there. And I have a very bad experience about that for a few years, but finally people recognize that men don't have to be like that. And now when we all go to wedding, people drink water together instead of beer, so I think that's my success.
All right, so I guess we've heard enough, but before we conclude the panelist session, I can't think of any better way than asking Felicity for more advice, more recommendations to be exact, for members of Batch 9 and would-be members of other batches to come. So Felicity, you've been with WEC since the very beginning, so I believe that you have a lot of advice for the members. I mean, how do you think they can make the most of their time with WEC?
The women that I see who have benefited the most are those women, maybe they're in a difficult time in their life. Maybe you feel like, I don't have the time, the energy to do it, I'm feeling a bit down. Actually, this is probably a really good time to do it. The ones who have told me this has changed my life, there are some who say it saved my life. And it's giving me goosebumps just to say that to you. So if you are feeling like, oh, I don't know if I can do it,
really do search inside yourself that you can find it. You do need the time to do it, but you do need to communicate with your group about your time availability, I think like Ben said. But if you feel that you're a bit scared, but you're excited, I say go for it. You know, when you feel a bit scared and excited, that's a really good feeling to go with. There's something exciting ahead. So do find the time. Don't be held back if you're scared, because it's a really welcoming place. Just like you said to me, we are all in different times of our life, and you know, some people are really very experienced and others are really only a few years into the workforce. But if you come with an open heart, open mind, willing to learn, willing to share, even if you're struggling right now, this can really make a difference for your life and for others.
Thank you. So just go for it, right? Just go for it. Okay, and that was the last question for the panel discussion. Once again, panelists, thanks a lot for your time and for the insights and for the heart-to-heart talk. Thank you very much. All right, audience, now it's Q&A time, okay? Just so you know, we're happy to clear any of your doubts about WEC and about how to successfully apply to Batch 9. All right, so if you have any questions, I'm sure that you're not going to miss the opportunity to raise the questions. And more importantly, for this event only, Hello West Saigon has been really generous to offer some day passes and week passes for audiences with great questions. And what I mean by great is maybe, you know, tricky questions or anything like that, because I'm not the person who's going to answer the question anyway. But the point here is, okay, if you have any doubts, if you have any questions, just raise your hands, okay? And for those of you who can't be here today, as I mentioned earlier, so if you have any questions, just leave the questions in the comment box. All right, is everything clear? Shall we get started? Okay. Now, I would like to invite back to the stage Felicity, Holly, and Miss Ha Nguyen. All right, we're ready. Are you ready? Okay, we're clear. Are you ready? Okay, so first question. All right, a microphone, please. Oh, you can use mine. Because I love free gift, so I should be the first one. Just joking. So happy Mid-Autumn Festival, everyone. My name is Lucy. So my first question is for alumni. What is a tips or a small advice to how to pass the entrance exam? And the second question is, as an alumni, you experience all the sessions and all the training and mentors. So what is the advice for the newcomers? Like, what should we do to get the good use of the mentors and of the program? Thank you.
Hello, chị Lucy. Okay, as an alumni, now I can talk about my experience. Actually, when I applied to become a member of WEC, exactly 1.5 years ago, I just put my heart in the questions. I put my heart into answering the questions, and the question is really simple, like, what have you done to change the environment around you, and what have you done to support the women's empowerment? So I just tell my own stories, how I see women around me, my mother, my sisters, their struggles, their happiness, and I put that into answers, and that's how I made it. So maybe tips to become members of WEC. Actually, because we are not that hard. Just because we have so many applications and so limited spots, and that scientific proven that class of 20 to 24 members are the best to get the educators, the trainers to reach to the deeper side of you. So that's why we have to have a criteria to select people. And if you cannot make it this batch, like batch 9, you are always welcome to reapply to batch 10. Yeah, so no worries on that. So what's the second question, please?
What should we do to make a good use of the mentor and the programs?
Okay, so the mentors are there for you to ask. Mentors are there for you to seek for advice whenever all the team members have conflict and cannot solve it by yourselves. Like, actually it's your responsibility, it's your projects to deliver the impact, to create something, but when all members are at the equal rights and equal responsibility, conflicts happen, so that's where the mentor step in. So please take good use of them on that. And when we all aim for the common goal, that's the successful of the projects and the learning of all the team members, you will find a way. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ngang, and first of all, thank you for all of your presentation. It was very clear, informative, and inspirational, especially Miss Han Wing for your life story. I'm really moved about this. I just have a question about the numbers. How many members will you be selecting for this batch? That's all.
Maybe as a new project lead, I will answer this one. So as I mentioned before, normally we will select 20 to 24 members maximum for batch 9.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Iman. It's very nice for me to be here. I have 2 questions for you guys. So first is that what are the special quality that you are looking for the next batch? And second question I have for facility. Why do you think that 2-day program can really help us to change? Yeah, that's all that.
I'll talk about the qualities as well. Yeah. I think with the qualities we want to see, and we'll look at women when they write. I would recommend definitely do the video, because in the video, even though it can be quite confronting to video yourself talking about these things, we can get a real sense of your passion, your genuineness, your authenticity. We really want authentic women, not just saying what we think you want us, we want you to say, but really who you are, where you are in your life right now, really why you want to be part of this. So it is about being authentic and being that sort of person who's willing to learn and to share. And what was the other question, sorry?
So why do you think the 2-day program really help us to change?
Yeah. Well, you know, originally, like I said, it was just workshops twice a week. And that feedback was, no, we want something more intensive. And we had thought maybe over weekends, because that's when women said it would suit them the best. So it sort of evolved. It was 2 days plus a half day, and then it's turned into 2 days plus 1 day at the end. So after the 2 months of community projects, you have that graduation day, and that's presentations. And that is where we come together, the different groups with their mentors, present their work, show videos, show their success. But most importantly, what I love about it too is that they talk about maybe when things didn't go right. as well. So sometimes we're over ambitious and then we realise, oh, actually we're really busy and we couldn't quite do everything we wanted to. Or we had a lot of conflict within our team. Like, this stuff happens, and that's real life. And it doesn't all have to be perfect and roses. It's just about, this is what we learned from the experience, good and bad. And really we've just learned that we can do a lot in two days, the first 2 days. The first day or so, day and a half, is really about that self-awareness. Different exercises. There is generally some pre-work as well. So there are some things that you do before you come to the club, which saves time in the classroom that we can go straight into, examining, sharing, and by the second afternoon is when, starting to work on the planning with the community groups. It does happen intensively, and it seems that it's quite quick, but when you're in it, it is intense, but, I guess the days are quite long as well, but we can do quite a lot in that time. It just gives, it's not too much time out of your life. The other thing I want to say, we haven't said at all tonight, is that, those dates, they're right, like, what date? Thursday, Fridays? Yes. So they're not weekends. But if you are thinking you want to do this, talk to your managers, talk to your leaders, and sell it as a professional development opportunity. With any luck, your company, if you are going to apply and if you are successful, they will see the investment that this is in you. It doesn't cost them money, it just costs a couple of days that they might give you as training leave, professional development leave. I've had other women who said, I wasn't able to get that, but I took annual leave anyway, because this is for me. So I really believe in that time you can cover a lot, and then over the 2 months you work in your own time with your group as much as you can, come back for that third day, and it's really just the beginning then. Then it's, with any luck, it's this ongoing journey and with this family that we have, and that's just the beginning. The 2 + 1 days is really just the beginning, and then you can have the ongoing involvement as a mentor, maybe as a project lead, and just feeling like you can make an impact on society as well as learn more about yourself and others. So it does work. I've seen it. Yeah.
Actually, I just got a question from an online audience, and actually it's quite similar to your previous question, which is mainly about the training session. So I think that would be perfect to invite Ms. Han Nguyen to talk about the 2-day workshops in further detail. Particularly, what have you got in mind for the 2-day workshops for Batch 9?
Yeah, let's see. In fact, we have only 1 full day and the morning, not 2 full days, intensive with activities, games, inner work, and group work. And okay, yeah. So, like Felicity said, so in the morning, you will have this self-exploration to know about, to work on with the pre-work about your inner strength, skill, things that you value, and come down to the core values, which are, the foundation or the North Star of your life. And then from that, for the afternoon, we will have a potluck lunch. And during that lunch, I will share with you a few tips on how to have a better nutrition and a healthier lifestyle, as I am also an integrative nutrition health coach. And in the afternoon, we will work more on so many things on happiness, the principle of happiness, and also building up your self-esteem through different activity, mind mapping, reflection, games, a lot of games there. So just feel quite excited for all the games there. And one of the essential part that you have the time to write letter for yourself as well, which are most highly evaluated by all the alumni before. And for the next morning of day 2, we will have time to experience deeply in the core value that will, build up your own strength, and also you will have a skill set. I call it a toolkit for you to empower yourself and to empower others, which include active listening, encouragement, conflict resolution, and how to do the teamwork. So we have for the lunch, prepare for a lunch in silence and with gratitude. So we experience that. And for 1 hour in the afternoon, we will have more work on cooperation, how to work as a team, and special activity at the end. So, and after that, it's a time for you to work on the community project. So, that's it.
Thank you. Yes, the next question, please. Okay. At the back, please. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jin. So today I'm very happy, to be honest, to be here. And today I'm more proud of myself that I have some of friends that's the alumni and also the mentors of the batch 8, sorry. So, yeah. My question is, understand that we will have the training, and then we, among these 20 or 24 members, we will divide in the different groups, or we just in one group as 20 or 24 members. And then the second question is the project. How we can, what is the project? Who will name the project? And who decide, or that is the idea of these 20 or 24 members, or there is one will lead the name of the project? Thank you.
Thank you for the questions. That's a really good one. We'll go into details of that. So there will be 20 to 24 members, and you will be divided, or you will be chosen. You will choose your community partners. So we will have 4 to 5 community partners, and they will be selected across sectors, maybe healthcare, education, single moms, survival skills. And then after 2.5 day training from Ms. Han Nguyen, the community partners will go on stage to present what is their problems, what are they looking for in WEC, what are the expectations for WEC members. And then after you hearing all the presentations from like our 5 community partners, you will choose yourself. Yeah. And each team will consist of 4 to 5 members. Yeah. And it will be a fun activities as well. That's my most memorable activities in my batch 6. Running around, calling names, hey, come here, you are suitable for this one. And when you in the middle, in the crossroad of like choosing what you heard for, like, is it education or healthcare? And it just happens, so yeah.
Another question just came up, and it's about the membership fees, because I guess we've been quite mesmerized by a number of activities waiting ahead. So that explains one question about the fees. So what are the fees, and how long the membership lasts?
This program is a grant. It's funded by a grant from the US government. and that's in full, so there are no fees involved. The lunch, people bring their own lunch. That's what a potluck lunch is. Everyone brings something to share with each other. And that keeps the costs down as well, so we can spend the costs on the things that really matter. So it is competitive to get in, but at the same time, don't think that you can't. Look at Tumi. I mean, there she was on the last night with the sick baby, I believe, making a video, and she did get in, and now she's been the project lead, and she's got so much out of it. So going forward, again, it's just people's time. Your energy, your time, it doesn't cost anything, but you give a lot anyway in your own time, your energy, and supporting other women, others perhaps that are not as fortunate as ourselves. So it's not about money, it's about all those other things that are actually probably more important.
And how about the validity period of membership?
Look, hopefully as long as this continues. I mean, it was so amazing to hear from the US government during this COVID time that it made the decision to go ahead. Yeah, and I feel like this is one of the most successful projects that they've ever had. And so with any luck, we get funding past Club 10, but nothing is ever assured. So really, we have to just look to the next two clubs, Club 9 and 10. If you think you might want to do it, go for it. If you're not successful with 9, try again with 10. And then, just it's up to you to volunteer your time, perhaps as a mentor, maybe as one of the committee to run it. And hopefully that your contribution will continue long into the future. Even perhaps if the US government in the end doesn't continue with the project, that we find some other way to keep it going, because we've got such a large group of such impassioned women and now men, and it is making an impact, and we've got a sustainable program. So it's really about you continuing with your energy, and as much as you put into it, you get back.
Yes, you told me that you were ready. So, what's the next question, please? Okay, I'm going to give you some time to think about the next question. In the meantime, actually, there's another question which is about the activities that WEC members can get involved in. I mean, is it just about the 2 months process, the training, the community project? What will happen after the 2 months?
So I will link back a bit into the how long the membership lasts, the validation. Okay, so we Women's Empowerment Club is a community, is a family. So once you get sent, you are a member of the family, and when you are a member, after the workshop, after 2 months community outreach, we have several gatherings and alumni workshops. Like, we have some alumni just step up to host workshops outside of the 2 months community projects. And yeah, the lot just going, so don't worry about that. The Women's Empowerment Club is a one-off event. Yeah, so I can assure that after, from my own experience, after I become a member of batch 6, I come back as a mentor of batch 8, and I have many more new friends outside of my work, and that's how I call work-life balance. And WEC for me is life.
Actually, I want to add one thing. As far as I can recall, say last year, December or November, we celebrated the Christmas together. We organized a gathering, an alumni gathering in celebration of the Christmas. So that's one example of the follow-up activities that all members, current members and alumni are welcome to join. Okay, so as long as you want to stay, then you're welcome to stay. Okay? All right, the next question, please. Okay, so you're being very kind because you're letting me do my job quite a lot. Okay, now actually this question is not closely relevant to WEC, but I think that's crucial because it's quite related to women's empowerment, you know, women taking control of their life. And personally, I find it a really interesting question. It says, when do you think is the suitable time for a change in career? And what did you do to balance your career and your marriage? Marriage, okay. So, yeah, who volunteers to answer this question? Okay. Well, that was a tough one. Okay, so the first part was about a good time for a career change, and the second is about, I think, work-life balance in general. How to maintain work-life balance. So maybe we should, first thing first, okay, suitable time for a career change, okay.
Look, sometimes career change is foisted upon you. Sometimes you are moving country, sometimes you lose your job. That's happened to me a couple of times. Sometimes you are feeling not happy in your job. And that could be because there's a conflict between your values and the company's values. And you, within yourself, you just feel like it's a struggle to go to work every day, or you feel like what you're doing, yeah, like for me, impact is a huge value. If I felt like what I was doing was not having an impact, it would be time for me to change my job. A bit like her, I had a long career. I worked for the Australian government for 20 years, and I had jobs there where, yeah, I did have a great impact. It was a nation-building job. But at the same time, the job wasn't always positive. The job did not always allow me to say yes to people and help people. Sometimes I was restricted by the law of the country. And so, you know, I got to a certain point there where, yeah, I married someone when I was living overseas. And so, you know, that impacted a career change for me. But at the same time, it was a great opportunity. I didn't have to change my career, but I thought, here is a good opportunity to do something different, something that's positive, challenge myself. Also, if you're not feeling very challenged in what you're doing, I think it's a really good time to change careers. As I mentioned earlier with COVID, you know, we're fortunate here in Vietnam, and things are pretty much back to normal for many of us, but maybe not for people who are in tourism and hospitality. But it's still been a time of reflection, I think, for most of us. And, you know, you just have to ask yourself, am I doing really what I want to be doing with my life? You know, if you feel like you want to be doing more, then that's a good chance to change. There was a report by the Foundation for Young Australians where it says that the average, I guess they're probably about 20-year-old now, will have 4 different careers and 17 different jobs. So if you've been doing what you've been doing for a while, I worked for the government for 20 years, right? I enjoyed it. I had a lot of the opportunities to work overseas, things that I wanted to do, but that wasn't my first career. I started in banking and HR, and then I worked in the government. And then finally, I was, I guess, fairly financially secure. So that was another thing that helped me to make that move to doing more about what I love, where I, you know, can make an impact and do some great things. Yeah, so it's whether you feel uncomfortable, whether you think it's right. My thing was that I heard some of my peers say, who were also in the government for about 20 years, and I'd say, wow, are you going to be doing this all your life? And they'd say, you know what, I don't think I could do anything else.
I was so shocked. I thought these women are really amazing, so capable, and you say you don't think you could do something else? There's definitely time to go and challenge yourself, do something else. So there are lots of different reasons why. It's really individual for you, but try a few different things. You will have a number of different careers, and try and do things that are consistent with your values, the things that are most important to you, and you'll know if your value is not being met. You will feel that discomfort. And keep challenging yourself and keep learning, because that's the way that, you know, we're going to succeed in the world of work as it is today and in the future.
All right, I'm afraid that was the last question that we can answer today, given the time limit. Okay, so, well, before we move on, moving to an end, okay, I would like to invite all of our speakers to the stage once again to receive some flowers from WEC organization team. Okay, now speakers, welcome again. So please take the flowers as a token of our appreciation for your, firstly, participation and, of course, your dedication to WEC. Okay, so it's been a great honor and pleasure to me, you know, to work with them side by side and to pull off this batch night. Well, okay, sorry, I'm trying to, okay, how can I say? You know, it's been quite a difficult time for all of us, given the influences of the COVID-19 pandemic. But, well, I just want to share with you my personal feelings, because it's been quite, you know, a bumpy journey to pull off this event. So, yeah, thanks a lot for being here. Thanks a lot for the dedication. Wow, amazing. So thanks, Flurry, for the gorgeous flowers today. Thanks a lot, speakers. Okay, you can get back to your seat. Thank you. All right, we're moving to an end, and we hope that you found the information session really informative, inspiring, and useful. And we really appreciate your time, your enthusiasm. But before you go, make sure that you're not going to miss our follow-up email. That's crucial, because that's the summary of all of the application process, deadline, and stuff like that, as well as the frequently asked questions. And if you have further questions, feel free to contact us on our webpage and also via email. Okay. Now, before we leave, before we call it a night and go back home to enjoy the the Mid-Autumn Festival with each other, allow me to quote some of my favorite sayings. That is, the first step is usually the hardest, but a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. All right, that's it for tonight. Thank you and good night. See you in the first training session day. Okay, see you.